What made you realize your parent is human too? When you're a kid, your parents almost feel like characters out of a storybook. They're the ones who set the rules, cook the food, keep the lights on, and somehow always know when you're sneaking cookies out of the jar. To me, my mom was especially larger than life. She was strict but fair, smart, and could juggle a million things at once. She could sew, cook, help with my math homework, and still show up at every parent-teacher meeting like it was no big deal. I honestly believed she was unshakable. But the moment that illusion shattered, the moment I realized my parent was human, came when I was about 12 years old. It was a rainy night. My dad was away on a work trip, and it was just me, my younger brother, and my mom at home. I woke up in the middle of the night because I heard noises coming from the kitchen. At first, I thought it was just the storm, but then I heard something else, the sound of quiet sobbing. I crept out of my room and tiptoed down the hall. When I peeked into the kitchen, I saw my mom sitting at the table in the dim glow of the stove light. Papers were spread out in front of her, and her head was buried in her hands. I froze. My mom, the woman who could fix anything, who always had the answers, was crying. She hadn't noticed me, and I remember standing there torn between going back to bed and walking in. Eventually, I whispered, "Mom?" She jumped a little, wiped her face quickly, and forced a smile. "What are you doing awake? Go back to bed, sweetheart." But I didn't. I sat down across from her, and that's when I saw what she was looking at. A stack of bills. Red letters stamped across some of them, past due. I didn't fully understand money at the time, but I knew enough to realize things weren't good. My mom sighed, and for the first time ever, she didn't put on the everything is fine act. Instead, she admitted she was scared. She told me my dad's job hadn't been bringing in enough lately, that she was worried about keeping up with the mortgage, that she didn't know how she was going to afford groceries and school supplies in the coming months. She wasn't telling me because she wanted me to solve it. She just needed to say it out loud. That moment hit me hard. I had always assumed adults just had money, that bills magically got paid, that food appeared in the fridge because that's what moms and dads did. But sitting there, hearing the fear in her voice, I realized she wasn't some all-powerful figure. She was a person, just like me, who worried and struggled and sometimes felt like she was failing. From that night forward, I started noticing more. How she'd skip dinner sometimes, saying she wasn't hungry. But in hindsight, I think it was so my brother and I had enough. How she wore the same old coat winter after winter, even though it was fraying at the sleeves, while making sure we always had new clothes for school. How she smiled at neighbors and friends even on days when she looked utterly exhausted. One particular moment really cemented it. A few weeks after that night, I overheard her on the phone with her sister. My mom was venting, saying, "Sometimes I feel like I can't do it anymore, like I'm drowning and no one even notices." That broke something in me, because I did notice now, and it wasn't just about her being my mom anymore. It was about her being a human being who deserved kindness, patience, and help. Over the years, that realization shaped how I treated her. Instead of expecting her to be perfect, I started seeing the effort behind everything she did. When she snapped at me for leaving my shoes out, I began to understand it wasn't because she was mean, but because she was tired and overwhelmed. When she asked for help with chores, I stopped rolling my eyes and started pitching in, because I knew it wasn't just mom stuff. It was work that weighed on her shoulders alone. Fast forward to adulthood, and that memory has stayed with me. I think every kid has a moment when the curtain drops and you realize your parents don't have it all figured out, that they're improvising, worrying, and carrying fears just like everyone else. For me, it was seeing my mom cry over bills at midnight. It didn't make me love her less. If anything, it made me love her more, because she wasn't some flawless superhero. She was a tired, scared, determined woman who still showed up every single day for her kids, and to me, that's far more heroic than the illusion I had before. That was the night I realized parents aren't gods, they're people, and sometimes the most human thing they can do is admit they're scared too.